Welcome to the Traditional Bow Hunting and Wilderness Podcast. This is Jason Samkoviak. I'm going to take a minute. I want to kind of show you something I've been working on. Now, what I'm wearing right now basically is my tree stand, and I got a little bit of modifications done to it. Here, I'm going to set this actually so it's set so you can see. But basically, what I'm trying to do is when I hunt Missouri and I hunt Kansas this year, and when I hunt Ohio, especially Ohio and Missouri. Kansas, maybe not so much, but Ohio and Missouri, they're big tracts of land, and I'm way back into a lot of these places. I want to get away from people, and I am tucked a long way in there. And in Ohio, that's miles. It's over a mile to each of these stands, and it's up and down, and it is wicked nasty terrain. And trying to get a deer out of there is absolutely brutal. And now, see, if you're a western hunter or a ground hunter, it's real easy because you can just buy a big enough pack that you can pack meat out on. It's not too bad. For us tree stand hunters and whitetail hunters that are using a tree stand, trying to get that meat out can be a challenge because we can't use a big pack like that. You can't hang a pack on your sharp edges like you have right here on your tree stand, like how I hang my pack on. You can see these edges. You can't hang a tree or a $700 pack on there and expect it to hold up with 50 pounds of meat in it and not have those shoulder straps shredded. So that gets to be an issue. Going back to get a pack is one option that I've done in the past and not too bad. But what I wanted to do now was turn my tree stand into an actual frame pack. And that's what I did. I basically took one of those contractor garbage bags, the real thick ones, and I took it, and what I did is I put a 50-pound bag of corn in there. Now, if it's meat, if I'm putting actual meat in here, it won't be as big and bulky. The meat will actually compact more and probably work better. This is untested other than this setup. I have not tried this with a deer yet. I'm going to do it a couple times this year to make sure it works, but my intentions are to be able to take this contractor bag, when I get that deer on the ground, lay the contractor bag on the ground, and then take and process and bone out my deer completely, lay all my parts on that contractor bag, and then when I'm done, I'm going to take that bag and I'm going to flip all that meat inside of it, roll it up real nice, and then strap it on my tree stand just like this. Now this one, kind of a little loose and floppy right now, but it's like that for a reason. I've actually done 3 mile-long trips with this now. It's a mile from my house out to the main road subdivision, and I've done this trip 3 times now with this without adjusting, tightening, tying, or messing with nothing. Just putting it on like I have it right now, and I'll loosen these up a little bit. I had it on there and then walk out of there. Now, a couple things to note: when you stand up straight like this, that whole thing wants to tip backwards, so it's not real comfortable on your shoulders. But if you get your weight forward like this, you can see they actually, all that weight is off that shoulder strap. It's not even needed. So when I'm walking with it, this is how I'm doing it. I'm walking like this. I got my trekking poles. I'm leaning forward a little bit. It gets that weight off my shoulders. I'm coming just like this, cruising right on through. Because this is the only part of this whole thing that bothers me. When I stand up straight, you feel a lot of pressure on this. And it is summertime, so I've been doing this with just a t-shirt on like I am right now. I'm sure it's a lot more comfortable with more padding on there. But by getting that weight on the actual hip belts and then being able to loosen these up a little bit like this, gets that weight off your shoulders. You can see it's not on there. Get that up, get it centered, tighten that belt up like that, and then you are set and ready to go. You can hike right out of there with that. Like I said, it's nothing to it. Now normally, I would put these tree stand sticks, these I mount on my actual stand. They sit back there where that bag is. If I'm going to do this as a frame pack, I'm going to not put these on there. I'm going to carry these in my hand, my bow in my other hand, and my actual backpack I will hang on here. Because again, the meat is not going to be as bulky as this, so I can still hang my tree stand or my backpack right on these and let it sit over top of that. So I mean, this is 50 pounds. Plus my stand, you're looking at 65, almost 70 pounds of gear on your back. It's not too bad. And like I said, doing it for a mile all the way there, and the only thing that was hurting a little bit was my shoulders, and that was when I was more upright on that first trip. When I set it, give it a shake to center it out, and I put my weight forward, I use my sticks like this, and I walk. This, like I said, it is not a bad system. So I haven't tested it yet fully out there with the actual deer meat, but I'm going to. But it seems to me to be the best way to be able to pack out an entire deer all in one shot. So when I hike in my mile to go hunt with my tree stand, my backpack, and my bow and my sticks, I hike in, I climb up, I hunt. If I kill a deer, instead of hiking a mile back out with nothing to go get my stuff and then drop everything off, come back with a sled a mile in, load it on a sled, and a mile back out, or whatever it is, and that's up and down hills again in miserable terrain, I can now take all of it out at once. I can get that, find that deer, get it laid out on the ground, get it boned out completely, get it in my, strapped up in this compactor or contractor bag, put it on my stand. I can hike out with everything that I came in with, and now I've really limited the amount of time I gotta take. Yeah, it's a little harder of a walk, and I'm carrying more weight, but it's taking basically 2-mile trip, mile there and a mile back, instead of doing a 4 or 5 mile trip, you know, mile there, mile back, mile there, mile back, so 4 miles. So it cuts the distance in half, and it's not hard to do. This is not hard to walk with. Plus, another thing I keep considering is that when I hunt these places, Missouri, Kansas, Ohio, when I hunt these places, I cannot bring the deer whole back into the state of Michigan. Our state with the CWD, we are not allowed to have that luxury to be able to bring whole deer back. We've got to bone that deer out. We're only allowed to bring back the meat and either a skull cap for the antlers, or we can boil the head out while we're there, but we can't bring the whole thing back. So I have to process the deer anyway. What's the difference if I process it in camp and or I process it in the field where I dropped it at? By processing it in the field, I get to, or if I process it in camp, I got to go, turn a 2-mile trip into a 4-mile trip, and then when I'm back at camp, I got to spend an hour and a half or so processing that deer and boning it out and getting it in a cooler. If I do it this way, I do it all in one shot right out there, spend that hour in the field, get it done out there on the ground, carry it all out in one, which makes it a half the trips. It's only 1 mile, or one time, mile there, mile back trip total. And then when I get back to camp, all I got to do is get this stuff out of here, get it in game bags hung, get it in a cooler, whatever I want to do with it, and then I'm ready to go back out hunting again. So it's a win-win all the way around, and I've been thinking hard for a system to come up with. This one seemed to be the best. I thought it'd be a good idea. I tried it, like I said, I did 3 solid miles with this on here. I did not have any ruptures, anything break through, nothing's giving me a fit. I also did take this off of here and put it right on my shoulder, just carrying it like that, just to test the contractor bag. And I ran all over the place, I jumped up and down with it, and I never had a problem with any of that stuff breaking through on there. So I'm pretty sure this system is going to be pretty solid. If you're looking for a way to get a deer out of some pretty rough country or for long distances, and you don't want to drag it or mess with all that crap that's involved with it, you're going to bone it out. This may actually be a pretty simple way. Turn your tree stand into an actual frame pack. It's very comfortable. Like I said, the only thing is because of where the weight is distributed, it wants to pull back, which puts pressure right here on my shoulders. If I tip that in forward a little bit like this, I got now no pressure on there. You can feel how loose and easy, how simple that is. So I don't feel any of that weight. Now I can just hike my way right out of there, sweet, comfortable, using my trekking pole or my tree sticks. It works like a champ. So something you might want to try. Thanks again for watching. This is Jason Samkowiak, Traditional Bow Hunting Wilderness Podcast, and I'll be back with more stuff soon. Talk to you later. Bye.